Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a book review for Immunity by Erin Bowman. Immunity is the sequel to Contagion, which is a young adult sci-fi novel. I just read and reviewed Contagion, so I will link the video up in the cards for you all if you're interested in checking it out. The way that I structure my reviews is I talk about the plot, the things that I liked and the things that I didn't like, and then I give the book an overall rating. So if you're interested in skipping to any one of those particular sections, I'll put the timestamps down below. Unfortunately, this review will have spoilers because it is really hard to review a sequel, especially like the ending of a series, without including spoilers. So go ahead and skip to the rating section if you just want to hear my overall thoughts. In Immunity, what we learn is that there is this contagion, this bacteria that was on this planet that Thea and her crew landed on that ended up killing the entire Black Quarry crew, of which they were sent to rescue. And what happens is that it gets inside you and it turns you into these ravening, lunatic, like zombies that just kill and whatnot. But what we also learn is that some people can be hosts to this bacteria. And if you are a teenager, think like ages between 15 and 17, you are the perfect host and it doesn't kill you. It actually transforms you into the superhuman where you have like enhanced hearing, sight, speed, strength, and also you can communicate telepathically with other hosts. So we are introduced in book 1 to this character named Cohen, who was part of the Black Quarry crew, ended up becoming a host after he got infected, and he ends up passing this on to Thea. So she becomes a host and superhuman as well. But what we learn is that Havet's corporation is in cahoots with this group known as the Radicals, who are trying to separate themselves from the United Planetary Coalition, which is like the, I guess, overarching government of this world, this galaxy. And this man named Burke ends up kidnapping Thea and Cohen once he learns what is going on with them and involves, Havet's corporation. And what they want to do is use this contagion to infect teenagers and turn them into superhumans to help them fight this war against the UPC, or United Planetary Coalition. So the first part of the book is basically Cohen and Thea as they are captured on this kind of spaceship that's isolated and tests are being run on them. And then we also have Nova, who is another point of view. She's the pilot. She's not infected and she is in cryostasis and we are inside of her head. Eventually, she does get awakened from cryostasis and helps Thea and Cohen to escape off of this space station that is, running tests on them. So we do get like the first good chunk of the book where they are on the space station and Thea and Cohen are trying to escape. And we also learn more about the contagion, more about the politics of this world, and more about their abilities. So fast forward, we also have a plot line that has to do with Thea's mom. So in book 1, we learned that Thea's mom just disappeared, when Thea was about 4 years old and she grew up in foster homes. But what they actually learn is that there is this separate scientific entity that is trying to create a drive that will allow ships to hyperjump, like teleport. And they need the Quarium, a form of it, in order to run their drives. So Thea's mom was actually kidnapped by like the pioneer of this scientific research because she's very talented and he needed her to help with this innovation. So she's actually alive. And that plot line is tied into this other one. So we do get like a big expansion of the plot because we get Thea's mom, we get some more scientific research, we get a third-party entity that has nothing to do with the United Planetary Coalition or the Radicals who are trying to fight against them. So we do get expansion, definitely, of this plot. And we also get a new character named Amber. So Amber is the daughter of the doctor that is running tests on Cohen and Thea. And she obviously does not want anything to do with this. And in order to save Nova, the pilot's life, she ends up becoming a host herself and getting infected with this contagion and leaving with Cohen and Thea to help kind of defeat Havet's corporation and stop everything that's going on, because what they're scared of is that in the event that they are trying to make these superhuman soldiers, that not only are they infecting teens without their consent, and it will destroy entire planets because the only people that can host this are teens. So if this contagion gets out to young children or adults, basically the entire population will kill each other. So there's a very fine line that this corporation is playing with, and there's a lot of ethical issues that go along with it. Now I'm going to talk about the things that I liked. So the first thing I liked was definitely how fast-paced this book was. I think I said that in the first book, Contagion. It's just a fun space adventure that you really don't have to think too hard about. There was enough sci-fi elements thrown in there to keep me interested. I really, really liked how we learned that Thea's mom was creating this drive to allow ships to literally teleport and space jump, and that technology was used to help them defeat the antagonist. So I really liked the introduction of the new sci-fi elements. Additionally, I really liked how Thea and Cohen's relationship kind of developed in this book. So we learn that the hosts can communicate telepathically, but we also learn that Thea and Cohen have what's known as bonded. So they feel what each other feels, and their heartbeats kind of beat in the same rhythm. So they are essentially like a bonded pair. But then at the end of the book, when a cure is found and Cohen is cured of this contagion, that bond is broken. So there's a lot of questions about, oh, was I feeling these things for you because of the contagion, or is it real? And I just kind of liked a little bit of depth added to their relationship. It wasn't as surface level as you would have thought at first. And I liked how the author just added that extra dimension to their relationship. As for the things that I didn't like, I enjoyed how fast-paced this book was, but at times I felt like things were moving too fast. So I feel like this book actually might have benefited from being a trilogy. So there were just some examples where, like, for example, at the end of the book, you know, they were talking about how Cohen, whose sister was sick, that's a separate plot element I'm not going to go into, but how she was going to get money for her medical bills. And, you know, the author explains, oh, Cohen's getting a settlement from everything that he went through. And I'm like, do you know how long it takes to, like, get a settlement? Years. And it happened like in a day. So there were just some things regarding the time or timeline and how fast paced things were that was a little just, it was way too fast. Everything just happened like too fast. But then I had to take a step back and remind myself this is young adult. It is made for a you know, younger audience, and it's only 2 books. It's not like a, you know, 9-book series. So just know that some things do happen way rushed that in reality just it would not happen that quickly. Also, I was a little bit confused about how the immunity to this contagion works, because what we learn at the end of book 2 is that Cohen actually gets cured of this contagion. And I was just really confused on the explanation about how that worked. It was something like the way I understood it, and I really didn't spend too much time thinking about this because I didn't care. But Thea, or Cohen infected Thea, then Thea turned around and infected Cohen, and that cured Cohen. That is the way I took it. Like I said, I didn't spend too much time thinking about it, and I didn't go back and really reread her explanation, the author's explanation, but that first explanation was just incredibly confusing. So I didn't understand at all how Cohen became immune or how the immunity worked. So in a book that's called Immunity, where your entire premise is based on people becoming infected with this bacteria, like I felt like that should have been more clear. And just a couple of like shorter, lesser important points. So this plot is fairly simple. All of the characters are fairly simple. All of the themes are fairly simple. You have very cookie cutter characters. You have a theme that has to do with an evil corporation exploiting people, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Like all of those themes and ideas that have been done over and over again. So while I did like this series, I did think it was a lot of fun. It was really quick to read. It was a way for me to kind of like escape and get my mind off of things when I came home from work. It is definitely not an amazing piece of literature. It is definitely not the most scientifically accurate or scientifically engaging series that you will ever read. But I do think if you're looking for something to just take your mind off of, you know, mundane day-to-day things, definitely jump into this world. It was super fun. The characters were super fun. It was just easy to read. So I do recommend it overall as a series for those reasons. And just like Contagion, I ended up giving Immunity 3.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, you guys, that is it for my review of Immunity by Erin Bowman. Let me know in the comments if you've read this series and what you thought of it, or if you have any other books that are similar in premise, and I will see you all in another video soon. Bye!